learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in September 4th, 2020, and the stock market is going to go crazy. It already went crazy today. The Dow Jones dropped and closed 800 points, but we were down at 1,000 points at 1.5% on the NASDAQ. That's where we closed at. It was a huge day. A lot of it has to do with Apple, again, the Dow rebalancing and all that. However, some people would say this isn't a big drop. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle between it was big and it wasn't big. We're going to talk about it, but I have some piece of information to determine really where everything is going to be going from here, or at least my general idea. So I hope you guys are ready. We have a lot to talk about. I got the plays. We made a lot of plays today. I'm going to look to execute a similar set of plays tomorrow. We have a lot of old plays that we got a few weeks ago that are kicking in. We took a lot of cash off the table yesterday that paid off. And it looks like we're heading into a Froggy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you bring your friends. We'll be all there for the tail. I have no idea what he just said, but hopefully you bring a friend and we see you there, but tomorrow should be exciting. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the stock market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list, come to life. And yes, it's a good place to be for volatility. It is actually a live VIX. So if you ever don't know what the VIX is, just look at how many people watch the stream, and as that goes up and down, that is a general idea of what is happening in the market and fear, panic, all of that. But right off the bat, the first thing today was big, but like we said, it is hard to tell the impact. Now, in my opinion, I think it is because of Apple. However, all of this stuff we were talking about with the VIX, I think this paints a whole different story, and it's going to be really important. So if you've been watching the watch list this last couple of weeks, even this last few days especially, we've brought this up. So finally now, you're seeing a big red on the market, which coincides with the VIX. Now, this is where it's really going to get interesting because it's how the VIX responds. Now, we've talked about a few reasons this could happen over some time. It could take a few time, but I'm not going to make you wait. The main piece of information is that if this is going to turn into something, if this is going to really be an event, it is going to depend on how fast and how much people switch to puts, and then if or when they switch back to calls. So again, what I'm kind of assuming here is like margin and people buying in, and as people buy calls, again, there's that underlying effect. It's kind of complex if you're not familiar, but essentially, I think this is what we saw in June, and now this is what I'm comparing it to. This event right here, if we are to see any volatility, it's a lot like what we saw here. Again, it was a big red day. You saw volatility the next 3 days as it edged lower, but there was kind of more control. And really, it led to a pretty volatile month. I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like this even with September. This was all of June right there. So you could kind of see, again, September is pretty volatile. However, we do not know yet. So like I was saying from the beginning, this was just pointing towards momentum. We got our momentum. Now the question is, which way is going to confirm? So that's what I really want to see, is that effect, because if a bunch of people start piling into puts, that could lead to a bigger move down. Again, that is what exasperated the move on the upside, and then vice versa though. As we get a lot of put activity, you get the market moving out, but if there's another reason or anything could lead to a lot of people piling into calls, that might also change it. So you're going to get a weird feedback loop between the options and then the underlying asset. Because again, I've been saying, well, the underlying's been going crazy. Then you're seeing options go crazy. But if people pile into options, that could influence the underlying. So really, I just hope you guys are in the game. This is getting really, really exciting. But you really, really got to wait and see. And that's why controlling cash is very, very important. So there's that. And I hope this kind of even explains today. There was no real news or event today also. So it wasn't like there was any bombshell news again again, we brought up some news yesterday. I think it's important. We'll talk about it with the plays. It has to do with that Russia, but mainly oil. I'd keep an eye on that. But finally, if we want to see tomorrow, again, the real question is, are we going to get any news? You are getting the jobs report tomorrow, and that could be important. However, given we moved with no real reaction today, and again, the VIX, we will see. But the real question is determining, okay, is tomorrow going to be really, really bad? Is this going to develop into something, or is it going to kind of cool off out of nowhere? And this was like a little overreaction, and then we see what happens. This is just what happens when you have to deal with higher prices. You're getting bigger moves. So I'm going to watch that 340 level from 2 weeks ago. I remember we saw similar moves before we even led to this run up, and that 340 level was pretty important. So that would pretty much be eliminating 2 weeks of gains in about 1 or 2 days. So that would tell us something, especially to open up the month. But realistically, the question is going to be tomorrow, do we gap up or down? Pretty much, do we stay around this level? Or if we are going to go low, we might pretty much gap below there, and then it could be even a lower move down only to rip higher, or even a sell to rip type of event. Again, that is where the jobs report is going to come in, but it's going to be exciting in those first few hours. I would be there in the morning and bring a friend, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have a few different plays that we made. Again, it's really a specific type of play I'm looking for. I want to do what we did today. I will show you the plays I made. Made a lot of quick flips. We were doing this prior. We did this even before the volatility. So cash balance, making plays free, that is going to be your friend. Yes, there's going to be FOMO. Yes, you're going to miss out on stuff, but you are not going to get caught slipping, and you will always have your hand in the cookie jar. So as far as tomorrow, though, I'm expecting a Froggy Friday. So what I want to do is I'm looking for a specific type of play, and that play is what we saw in Bank of America. So this is one I'm looking for tomorrow, or plays like this. It doesn't have to be them and now. Why do I say that? Because I have 50 of the daily contracts, and that's a lot for me. I know some of you guys are YOLO WSB degenerates. I get it. 50 dailies is nothing to you, but that's a lot. So I did do a big play, though, and I want to talk about this. People asked about butter today. And really, at certain levels, when you could tell where the market is kind of getting in one of these modes where it's pretty much a risk-off event, people are really selling off. Certain levels are key, and then certain laggers, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the market to be making a broader move lower, and I'm looking for the companies that were green, or the industries that pretty much were doing good and are the last to get tagged by some of the volatility. And that's what we saw at Bank of America today. So those are the first two factors. But the next part about the Bank of America is that you could play them very cheap. Now, volatility already hit today, so some of these dailies might be expensive. That's usually what we see. So what I want to look for is these companies that don't really move a lot. They're not priced too high, but they're big name companies, and they have very, very small values that are close to the money. Again, these were like 50 cents out the money when we got them, or like $1, I think. Yeah, $1 out the money, but they cost 3 cents. So I grabbed these today as we were hitting the butter. I know a lot of you guys trip out on the contract prices. You could blame the coat, but you could just see it right here. I bought 200 of these daily puts at 3 cents a pop. I spent $600, but then what proceeded to happen, within 7 minutes, it dropped 50 cents. So that's about 2% on a stock, a bank stock. It's not supposed to happen. So even within 3 minutes, I was like, well, I could get most of my money back. I sold 150 out. So bought 200, sold out 150 between 7 cents and 13, got my initial investment, but now I have 50 for free. They were worth $300 at close. I could have took that, but I was like, well, I will keep some money on the table for here. But those are the types of plays I want, and the key is going to be there is real volatility. It's not going to be buying expensive options on the weeklies for tomorrow at least. It's going to be catching these frogs and really cheap plays, getting initial investment, and then riding the wave, and then hopefully getting lucky. Keyword lucky. It is gambling. None of this is a recommendation. If you don't know what you're doing on this, you don't know what I'm doing, you will lose money. This is not a joke nor a cryptic message. You will get clapped. So that was the first play that I made today, and that's going to be the first one that I'm looking at. But those are going to be the main types of plays. Again, it could even be on the upside as well, but control the balance, because tomorrow will be a day that you will null a lot of your profits. So if you chase some of these plays, get caught up in the volatility, and then either Monday subsides or Tuesday because we have a holiday, or tomorrow isn't that good, you will get clapped, or you will pretty much end up breaking even and you did a lot of work. Don't give the money back. So watch them, watch Bank of America, then finally DocuSign. That's going to be the only other play I'm going to be looking at. Pretty much I will be hunting tomorrow. And why I say DocuSign, because this is one of those hyped runners and a lot of people were into it, but now it's dropped. So this is now, it could be a good one. We'll see, but be careful for overpaying on the puts. Honestly, come on stream, call out these plays. And even then, if you could find plays like Bank of America, call them out in the stream tomorrow morning or even post them below in the comments, but we could source information and help each other out. But those are what I'm going to be looking for. Everything else, we took a lot of profits. I sold some calls. I sold those UALs at 100% profit in the morning, got rid of JP Morgan calls. I just had a lot of them. They had value. I didn't want to get caught in them. Did that play. We also got a McDonald's. Again, this was another one of those daily flips. I did the same thing as the Bank of America, and I only bought 10, but I had to spend a little bit more money. So they were 30 cents a pop, but it was the same exact thing. You can see we got these at 10.56. I bought 10 of the daily 210s at 30 cents. So the time is over here. But again, 10.56 was literally right before it started falling. So again, 216 to 213. Again, it closed down $2. We caught that $3 move within about an hour. So again, I was able to quick flip those pretty quickly. I sold back 4 of the 10, got my initial investment back. I even sold 2 at the close for about 58, 59. They went up to $1, and I think they're at like 70 cents now, but I'm holding 2. They expire tomorrow. So again, I got exposure, was able to take the profit, but those are the plays I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. But I need cheap weeklies, certain slow moving stocks, and I need to be able to confirm the break in the market. So hopefully we see you on stream tomorrow and every day. This would also be a great time to shamelessly plug Scream Alerts, but I won't do that. But I just did it. Oh, man. Shout out to Colt, baby. But that was pretty much it. Again, you guys are going to need to call things out. I will be looking at different plays. Again, I forgot. This was the big play, too. This was my big global play that I made today, USO. So we talked about this. I watched if someone could tag that part on stream, that would be great. But the idea is we saw that news with Russia. There's a bunch of stuff happening. China's currency is strengthening a lot. The dollar's moving a lot. But now, anytime the Russian currency, it's been relatively stable and it correlates with moves on oil. But then I was switching charts and it froze my computer. What I was saying is that oil is very, very important. And anytime we've seen stuff with Russia and their currency, it moves. But pretty much in the midst of everything, though, this is even overlaid with China. You could pretty much tell where the S&P and Dow is. You guys seen it rip. But for the last 3 months or so, oil has stayed relatively in this same price zone. So if we start seeing instability here, and then we talked even with inflation in the dollar, it would be impacted through oil. So I'm even expecting some oil news to start brewing here. I wouldn't be surprised. That is the play that we made, and the exact play that I got on there was the USO January 17.5. I got 100 of these at 25 cents. So they went up, and you could pretty much see these contracts have relatively been dead for a long time, but they haven't gone below 20 cents. So you could even see most of these contracts really haven't moved too much. Some of them were at that 20-cent level. I tried to get these. You could even see as I go through in the morning. I even started at the 18s. I wasn't getting filled. I tried the ones below it. Then I was like, wait, let me try the ones above it, because I saw that pretty much a lot of these out of the monies were around the same price. So the idea I'm looking for here is a big move on oil. So that was that global play we were talking about. As far as everything else, it's pretty much going to be watching all of the other stuff we're in. Again, everything with the UVXY, those Amazons went up. I will be watching them, and pretty much if there's an opportunity to make these quick flips on these, I will. And then depending on tomorrow, depending on the jobs report, if we get information, it could lead to confirmation on stuff, but I'm not getting too jumpy just yet. So if anything, a lot is going to be responding tomorrow and finding those specific types of plays that meet this kind of volatility criteria that we've been seeing, like Boeing. So there's that. And then finally, again, a lot of my other charts here got deleted, but GLD, SLV, even TLT, you guys will notice it didn't go up too much. It did have a big day, and this is going to come up a little bit, but I don't think the plays there. I looked at the option chain. The prices and expectations are a little bit off, but what I would notice is GLD, again, the fact that it's following with the market market. Our premiums did go down on the Robinhood a little bit today, but the fact you're seeing that move, that is what's making me a lot more interested in, okay, if everything starts to liquidate, and that should even be the next signal. If you see TLT really start to liquidate, remember, that's when you started seeing some really, really bad days. So the first couple days we made a lot of money on TLT. That was because the bonds started popping off. But then when you started seeing the overall liquidation, that was the confirmation. So like I'm saying, watch out for that though. Watch for kind of activity and how volatile things are in the morning. And then that should give us an idea of pretty much what type of plays we should be watching. But that is pretty much it. I hope you guys are ready for tomorrow. Bring a friend. Bring all those AMDs. Oh, no, bring a friend. Well, bring a little bit of peace too. And get ready. It's going to be a Foggy Friday. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. Don't get too jumpy. Don't be too timid. That's why the farmer plants the seeds. Stay focused. Get ready. There's still a long journey. But the goat loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.